next to your name. What does that mean? You have like bad Wi-Fi or something?
Are you tired of the same old sports media? Are you tired of hot takes, arguments, and questions that are just completely off base?
Luckily, we have something for you. Touchdowns and tangents of the people, for the people, by people who care about the culture and all its concise commentary.
What's up, good people? Late, but live from Hawthorne, California. I am Pete D. Camarillo, hosting Touchdowns and Tangents. Apologies if we left you hanging last week, but some shit came up. Without further ado, though, we got the legend himself, live from Vegas. It's iPad/insulin Kenny. What's up, man?
What's good?
Skin looking good. You're in fucking HD for once. You're like not all laggy. Who is this guy?
I mean, hotel Wi-Fi.
I know, it's surprisingly holding up better than mine.
Honestly, though, like my iPad, like I had changed my password and then it just shut me out. So then I had to restart all my passwords for my accounts, which was a bitch. And then I got locked out of my Twitter account for 6 hours for some stupid reason, only on my iPad, though. But other than that, you know.
Stop gaslighting fucking porn star threads and telling Adam22 you got next.
I was thinking about that. That's for the burner. I'm gonna put up, once I get all this like Mountain West and media and Pac-12 Media Day content out and just flood my timeline with it, piss everybody off.
Just every day tweeting Adam22 I got next. Just create a Twitter bot just to tweet that.
Nah, too subtle. I'm gonna just like literally just send memes.
Speaking of which, I'll tell you something after this. But yeah, and then also on the line we got the amazing producer Nikki eating some macros.
Hi. Yes, sir.
Probably some creatine in there.
Our healthiest life.
25 of protein in my little stew I'm eating right now. So
that's what's up. But yeah, I was gonna say, you know that fucking, I think you tagged me in it, but it was like, oh, what's the best athlete podcast? And I left a comment and I was like, low-key, these are all trash. Because low-key, they are all trash. But then someone else commented and was like, oh, yeah, not as trash as the podcast pit. And then they were like, not as trash as the good news. And I was like, okay, buddy, you're about 2 years late on that joke, but I'm going to let you rock, King.
Who said that?
Some random?
Send me that in the DM me that.
I think you got my burner account. My bad.
It's a private account. That's the worst part. Like, you can't be talking shit off a private account, bro. Like,
I mean, my main account is private, but I talk shit. I'll unprivate my shit just to talk shit and let somebody know, like, no, it's up. I just don't want to be constantly hit with bot accounts. So that's why I just make my shit private.
You want a crypto chick bots trying to extort you?
Oh, you're getting my blood. You're getting my blood up, honestly. So there was one time earlier today where I was like, am I about to faint? Is my blood sugar low? Am I gonna die? And yeah, that's the feeling I get every time like I see a fucking crypto expert. I'm like, you know, I'd rather you salute me for sex and drugs. At least like we can negotiate something. But like crypto, really, dude, no one has there's no value in crypto like that.
That's not true. I've been making money off crypto.
I said that you didn't get in early. You didn't hear that loud.
I didn't get in early. I just got in I just got in like a couple months ago, like this year.
We got XRP.
It is pretty crazy how fast crypto tanked, though.
I didn't hear you cut out.
A lot of its value.
Oh yeah, it has lost a lot of value.
I'm saying the smart people got in, and the people who knew they were going to fuck the system already got their money out.
There's still money in it. I'm still, like I said, I made a couple $100 already.
You made a couple hundred. I'm talking people who made millions.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if I had invested at a couple extra zeros, then yeah, I would be like, yeah, I made a couple $1,000.
No, you could if you're given the right proprietary information, you put even like $500 down on some shit, you're gonna explode your bet. But the problem is you're not you're not privy to those conversations. You're not in those rooms. You're not in those group chats. So you know, there's always gonna be a ceiling there. You gotta be dumb lucky for a regular person to make that kind of money.
No, it's not that hard, bro. You're really overthinking it. It's really just a matter of like everyone knew crypto was going to come down. It had to come down. It was way too high. Then it came down, and so all the people that were just trying to make money, they all got fucked and they're out of it. But the people who actually believe in the technology are still in it, and they're still making money or have made money. That's the thing about investing is it's not just about investing, it's about continuing to invest.
And so not taking money out and touching it.
Well, knowing when to do that, right? So when it's up, when you're up 50K, taking that 50K out, but then instead of just taking it out, putting 10K back in or holding until it's low again and then putting that 10K back in and then making that 10K work for itself. And then you compound that into another 50K. And then instead of just being up, you know, whatever, 70K, you're now up 90K. It just takes a lot of time and effort and money.
Income that you're not afraid to lose too.
Yeah, that's part of it for sure.
A lot of people don't realize you gotta be willing to start off. I'll fuck off $100. I can fuck off $500.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I could fuck off $100, so that's why I invested $100. But like, if I were a millionaire, then yeah, I could fuck off $1,000 or $10,000, and then yeah, we'd be talking about thousands and not hundreds.
Yeah, it's just it is what it is.
But yeah, don't let people's narratives sway you from making your own financial decisions.
I had some crypto, but shit got weird in the pandemic and the year after. So I kind of had to, empty those reserves.
But yeah, Kenny, so how's Vegas? I was out there last week for Summer League. You're out there now for Mountain West and Pac-12 Media Day.
My Pac-12 Media Day is tomorrow morning. The registration starts at 6, breakfast from 6:30 to 8. I will not be there any earlier than 6:30.
Shit, even going 6:30 is fucking wild. I definitely want to show up till 7:45, catch the last bagels, and like 2 clips and call it a day. 6:30 call time is fucking wild.
6 a.m. call time. Registration is 6 a.m.
Well, no, 6:30 is the call time. 6 a.m. is for like the early birds.
You gotta register, and then breakfast starts at 6:30. But I mean, if you show up at 6:30, you're not paying for.
But you're already registered. You're just checking in,
getting your ID and shit. Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah, that's not really registering. Like, they're not gonna fucking check your credit score and take your social security and do a background check.
Bottom line is, I just want to make sure I get a big ass plate of breakfast and I'm full and have sustenance of life in it because I'm getting no sleep. I'll just pass out for like 4 hours and wake up, which is like, I'll get back to normal when I get back to LA. But it was mostly like,
and it ends at 6.
Shit ends at like 5.
Yeah, dude, that's a long ass day.
No, 4. It ends at like 4, but like the room is open till like 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's a long ass day.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just like today was a long ass day, and the day before that was.
But today you didn't start at 6, and you got a break.
Sure, really, I woke up at 9,
and you were done by like what, 4, 3? That's like a normal day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Mountain West gets it, which is I'm glad I get to talk about this because like a lot of dope shit happened. Trauma bonded with a couple of JUCO players. Shout out to Logan Taylor, El Camino College alum. JUCO guys get it. We understand it. We're always successful in life. But yeah, man, like the Circa's really nice. It's a nice hotel. Had to resist the urge to gamble. My mom's like, one day you need to hit the slot machines. And I'm like, one day I will. Well, I blow a bag that night. They might just have to just wire me the money and tell me it's going to take 2-3 days. So I act right. But it was this is probably the most organized I've ever seen an event like this, because they did split it over 2 days. So the coaches were today. It was kind of easier and quicker to get stuff done. I mean, Brett Brennan was a little bit late, San Jose State coach, and Andy Avalos had to dip early. So at one point we had 4 coaches during like I think it was like 1 to like 2:15. So I got probably about like 10 minutes worth of just Andy Avalos content that I'm kind of editing down and have to splice some stuff together. Because don't you hate it when like you're asking a series of questions and that one asshole has to sneak one in? He can't just wait. Like I hate that about.
I don't know, Kenny. You've also been slapped on the wrist for being that guy that fires out 3 questions in a row.
Oh no, that was different. That's because
I'm just saying.
No, that was like
your reputation precedes you.
Nah, it doesn't. That doesn't actually. I just knew when to pick my spots, like, because I mean, once the coach does this, once the coach has his post game, whatever, you know, it's okay to ask a question and then a follow up, but I can't really ask 3 follow ups. You know, I was a little bit overzealous. I was eager. I was playing. You know, I was playing with fire. It's whatever. I still get all the answers I want and need.
I mean, it's better to ask too many questions than to not ask enough.
Exactly, and that's
both for you and both for the room and the media relations and the coach and everyone.
Because sometimes, like I did that like 3 times, like with USC.
And sometimes they'll just be like, "Well, I guess that's it," and it's like, "Well, no, actually, I had like 2 questions I could have made up, but I was trying to give other people time, but nobody had anything else to say." So,
or somebody asks a stupid ass question where it's like, "Bro, you could have Googled that." That's what I don't like, is when people ask stupid ass questions that like.
Oh, how many points did you put up last year versus Fresno State?
Somebody asked, so what is it? You know, what does the legacy of Boise mean and the blue turf? Was that a serious question? Bro, I got so many unserious. I just like had to just stand there.
What did he say?
Personal anecdote to it. The whole, I mean, like, yeah, like there's an answer, but they could say some type of personal, like.
Well, you could ask the question better than that, though, too.
Exactly. It comes off schoolyardish, like elementary. It's like, you've been covering this for how long, and you asking a question that simple? What do you think the blue means? The answer was great, but that's because the coach is media savvy. Sometimes the person asking the question asks a dumbass question and they get away with it because the answer bails you out. But a dumbass question is still a dumbass question, because, like, when you could have got the context on your own. Like, now there was a couple times, like, questions got asked, and it's like, oh no, that player isn't on the roster anymore. And I was like, oh, well, that's new. The times actually kind of made me sad. One of them, because I'm like, I covered the kids in high school, and I'm like, damn, this is like it's 4th team, and can't latch on somewhere. But
dang. So you asked about a player, and they were like, yeah, they're not on our roster anymore.
I just brought up a dude's name in jest because it was like it was talking about like LA recruits and COVID and like getting people to come, like what it like you. It was like a dude at quarterback for Utah State, and like I brought up a name. He's like, oh, he's not with us anymore, and I was like, oh.
See, that's a stupid question.
No, it wasn't a stupid question because like his bio still says he's on the team, so it's like I wasn't even expecting that answer. I asked him a totally different question.
Yeah, I feel that.
He's like, oh no, he's not on. I was like, oh shit, that's news within itself. Now that's different than like what does it mean to be like a great? What does it mean? What does success mean for your season? Huh? and that like wins or is how you measure success in football. So, but yeah, that you always get stuff like that. But
I mean, I think that's why I always like to go the other route with that question of like, well, what would make this a dumpster fire for you? Like, what's your worst case scenario? Getting 50 hung on me by Fresno State, I'll fire myself. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
we're gonna hold you to that.
I feel it. I didn't send you this clip, but it was a really great series of questions that I asked Jeff Tedford, and he said, "Chip is kind of a negative connotation. It's like
because it's like a forced thing.
He said, I could ask 100 kids, what does leadership mean? And they all think it means being the one who gives all the speeches, holding everybody else accountable. But really, it's better to be a person that, influences change, or, it's not always like be a difference maker. Be like contribute to something in a different kind of way that doesn't always necessarily thinks it means you have to be the loudest one in the room giving all the directions. That's kind of a negative connotation because there's bad leadership and good leadership.
Well, there's different ways to lead. Like, and every situation requires different roles of leadership.
It's not always, and people aren't always receptive to your kind of leadership, even if it's good.
Like even with the coach, it's like sometimes, you do need to kind of step in. And how about the linebackers if you're a linebacker coach? Because that's your bread and butter. And sometimes you need to just step back and let your coach cook. And you focus on the other 1,000 things that you need to focus on. But it's like the good coaches know those situations. And part of it is experience. But it's the same thing even with players. Like, I mean, I was never like really a fucking rah-rah guy. But when shit hit the fan, like, people always looked to me, like, because I was cool, calm, and collected. And that's just, and I showed up. I was consistent. Like, I was always there. So that was a different kind of leadership than just being, like, the person that brings energy and peppiness and gets in people's faces, like. And then you even have, like, the enforcer leaders that are, like you said, hold people accountable, but get in people's faces and challenge people. And, like that's a different kind of leadership. Like, there's all different types of styles. It's just about finding the ones that work and making sure you have a good combination of all of them.
Yeah. It was just interesting, like that dude is a master teacher, because, like, when he dropped that gem, I was like, damn, I never really looked at leadership that way. It's like, it's actually a negative connotation. It's like,
no, I see that for sure, because I mean, it's kind of just like it's like I said, it's kind of like forced upon you. Like it's something your coaches push you towards if you're really good, or something you feel like you need to develop if you want to be a leader or help your team win or get to the next level. So it's always like this constant pursuit of something, but it's like, really, we all have leadership traits. It's just about finding the ones we have and where to apply them. And then it's the same thing with following too. Like, you need followers to have good leaders, and there's different ways to follow and different roles with that as well.
Just need somebody to buy in. But I mean, yeah, it's like, I'd say the Mountain West, like, the collection of coaches from top to bottom, because they all know each other, and everybody's like, somebody's always been to the Pac-12, or somebody's, been around the country, the SEC, whatever. Like, I feel like they're the most tight-knit, like, elite group of coaches, I think, out of conferences. I think the SEC is really cutthroat. The Pac-12 is respectful, but I mean, you lost a couple guys. Like, there's new faces. And it's still really competitive. And
this is your way of saying the Mountain West has the most lunch pail guys? Is that what you're trying to say? The lunch pail coaches?
No, I'm saying, if I had a kid, I would want them to play for all those coaches.
Like the football coaches. Like these guys love football, and they're not in it just to
people.
Yeah,
and teachers, like just in general, like from top to bottom.
They're not necessarily trying to be celebs and stars and on broadcast. They're just trying to moment and play and win games.
And, like Brett Brennan, he literally asked him about, because they had a tie, unfortunately, last season. And I said, and Cole Brennan is his cousin. So it's like, what was like all the whole 7 years he's been at San Jose State, like what are some of the walk-ons that are most near and dear to your heart and have had the most impact on you? What walk-ons are like? Do you expect to have a huge impact this season? And he dropped a bunch of names. Chandler Jones is like the all-time leading receiver in school history. He was a walk-on. Josh Love was Player of the Year. He was a walk-on quarterback. I think he's in the XFL, USFL. He named a lot of guys. He said we're just a school that like really a lot of. I pretty much asked like the same 2 or 3 questions to everybody, and the answers I got were really interesting. The first one was like, the whole concept of automatic qualifiers and what the commissioner, Gloria Navarro, she's only been there 6 months, but she talked about, a lot of things like this, how they're ahead of everybody in diversity in terms of, people in different positions throughout, like not just at the bottom, but throughout the entire scope of the ladder of the conference. Like there's different people from different backgrounds at every level of training and coaching, uplifting each other. Athletes are actually actively making decisions about the future of the conference and working with decision makers, in the conference. And it's actually been successful more than any other conference. So that was really good. She also, because when you think of the term Power 5 is like really good PR and like kind of elitist nomenclature. I just said nomenclature. Yeah, I'm sorry. It pretty much it was always a way to exclude the Mountain West when you say Power 5. But USC, like the commissioner said last year, USC makes the least amount, or not USC, the Pac-12 as a conference makes the least amount of money out of all the Power 5s. But they have the most championships. And what the commissioner said was, we don't believe in the concept of a Power 5 because, I stated in the question, like the Mountain West is beating everybody essentially. The Mountain West has a pretty good record against everybody in almost any sport, especially football. So their sure thing was it's, group of 6. Like we're a group of 6 conference. There's about 10 conferences with expansion and everything happening. Like the top 6 conference champions are going to get, good spots when the playoff expansion goes into effect 2024. And everybody, all the coaches just kept saying the term group of 6. It's not like the Power 5 notion is kind of dead. It doesn't really make any sense anymore. And the playoff kind of does away with that. So when the other conferences keep saying Power 5 and the Mountain West isn't saying Power 5, they're saying group of 6, pay attention to that because, they said they feel like they're on par with every other conference, and on paper they are. They're just focusing on building up their national brand and their TV deals, which are already really good and competitive. And it doesn't help USC that they're not going to announce their TV deal tomorrow. They still got stuff up in the air. They're losing USC. Deion Sanders isn't going to be there because he's getting foot surgery, a second foot surgery in like a month.
This is shaping up to be a great Pac-12 season already.
There's hella storylines though. There's a bunch of storylines, and I can't wait. It's gonna be real interesting. Not just Caleb Williams.
Anyways, we can talk about that next week.
But yeah, real interesting.
All right, first clip. You got UNLV D tackle Naki Fahini and QB Doug Brumfo. Fahina.
Yeah, he actually had a Liz Frank injury. last year. He's a senior.
Okay, look at your tradition. Look at who why would we duck London? That's before the state championship. It was nothing to duck.
I mean, if you look, he had like 25 sacks his senior year.
He wasn't sacking me. He can't sack me now.
Files had like 155 tackles. Like, that whole defense was ridiculous.
They weren't doing nothing. I know all they DBs, all of them. Like, I played with them.
Stan, all them guys.
I know Stan. I know Mikhail, nothing.
But, you done? Anyways, like we're talking about.
What was y'all score versus Narbonne?
How many times have you beaten Narbonne?
How many times have you beaten Narbonne?
How many times have you beaten Narbonne? Anyways,
He got blew out.
his coach was ducking the fade. The coach ain't want to play Londo. I ain't gonna lie. We're just gonna keep it there. Travis Clark, the realest guy.
I'm in college now.
He didn't want to play us.
I'm in college now.
Let's go.
Wow, you got broken up by security? Let's go. You guys having too much fun.
We were talking for like 20 minutes, bro.
That's cool.
Because it was like, last time I interviewed Naki, he was in high school. He's a grown man now. I was like, damn, man, you're making me feel old, bro. I interviewed you when you were 16, 17. Now you're a senior. He had a Liz Frank injury, rehabbing his foot. But he was productive last year, and now they're like, with Barry Odom being the head coach there, coming from Missouri, and cleaning things up. And then LV is really on the rise.
They're always on.
No, like, this is different though. Like, they're three-star QB. No, like, for real. Like, he's a three-star QB coming out of high school. Got a rocket for an arm, lefty. They have talent all across the board. Their offensive system actually fits. They're a year better.
I think they have a losing D lineman from a few years ago too, unless he transferred.
A lot of guys transferred out, but like Naki, he stuck around, and he was kind of a really good recruiting gem for them. And I was like, so you play, because he played tight end, fullback, D-line, and he was the kicker and punter at Lawndale. And I was like, so is coach going to give you some goal line snaps or what? He just laughed. He's like, I hope so. But yeah, like, he want Naki and them. They want to, state 2A championship. This is like the 4th year anniversary. They won a title at Lawndale his senior year. Doug didn't win CIF championship, but like they won. Malik Murphy, the quarterback at Texas, he won a CIF championship. His senior year, which was like 2 years after Doug. But here's the crazy part, because we talked about the lineage at Sarah. And Naki says, Altenberg was ducking them. They didn't want to play him when they were at their best because they were afraid they were getting blown out. Sarah was actually losing players to Narbonne and other schools. But then, they say, we wanted to scrimmage them and play them for a game, and they didn't want to do either. They didn't sign it. So one day we'll get the answer. One day we might not. But Sarah and Lawndale High are like 10 minutes from each other. It's down Marine. They're so close, it's ridiculous. All the kids know each other. Like they're the only two schools that local, that big, who haven't played each other yet. Inglewood, I don't think Inglewood's played Sarah, but Inglewood, Narbonne have played. Inglewood and Lawndale have played. They're going to play this year once Lawndale's new field is done. They're going to play in about a month. And
didn't they just get a new field?
Yeah, they're finishing up their field.
Didn't they just get a new field?
Yeah, they got their field redone.
Again?
Lawndale got their field no, like their field got put in when I was in high school.
No, but didn't they get a new field like around the state championship, like the year before, or the year after?
They got a scoreboard. They got that big ass scoreboard, which I was like, that's kind of ass backwards. You don't have a weight room. They still don't have a weight room. I'm 31. They haven't had a weight room since I was a sophomore in high school. That was about 15 years, 16 years. Damn, I'm old. But yeah. So they got a brand new field. When you look at all the success that you've already had in the Mountain West and just the conference in general, what more do you
San Diego State head coach Brady
the conference to be acknowledged as an automatic qualifier?
Yeah. Well, I think Coach Bull I've known for a long, long time. I've known for years. He's a great football. I think schools who want to Power 5, right? So that's something we always, we all.
Everything that happened with COVID and a lot of high school recruits not getting looks, JUCO guys getting stuck. How much easier has it been to kind of get some prize recruits that maybe would have, fell through the cracks had that situation never even happened?
Yeah, that's, you never, in some ways, we found this. So that hurt, I think.
Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, so that was was between him and Wyoming coach Craig Bowl. They gave a lot of insight on that, and it's true. Like I said earlier, like from top to bottom, all these coaches are great. They're young. Some are young and talented with a lot of charisma. Others have been there a little bit longer, well seasoned, and know what they want. And they're always getting like good quality kids and developing them. Like I'd say, the Mountain West probably better than any other conferences. Develops a lot of underrated talent from across the country very well. Just look at Wyoming. Wyoming keeps putting out a linebacker every couple of years.
DB,
A good one at that.
receiver, maybe an O lineman here and there.
Yeah, a corner.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Josh Allen, and that's a JUCO guy. Like a lot of programs depend on JUCO guys. Now more than ever, some programs really depend on high school because a lot of high school kids are, like we said before with numerous guests, high school kids slipped through the cracks with COVID. You lost about three recruiting classes worth of kids, arguably. Some of them never played again. Some of them are trying to find their way, but Brady Hope, he was really successful at San Diego State years ago. Then went to Michigan, didn't really work out, but he came back to San Diego State, and they've been rocking ever since. And also, they came to an agreement. San Diego State is on good terms again in the conference. They got their $6.6 million share of revenue. So it's all love and handshakes. And Gloria Navarez would not speak to, what led to all the hubbub and, controversy as to how that letter came about. So I guess all is forgiven, and she said it. She's like, the Mountain West is a better conference with San Diego State in it. And them getting all the way to the Final Four national championship game was huge for the conference. Brady Hoke dropped a lot of good game.
Well, since you mentioned the commissioner, I was going to close with her, but I'll just play with that now since you've already talked about it.
Yeah, you play.
Kenneth Berry, touchdown returns.
That network.
How much success the Mountain West has had in the past against, let's say, the Pac-12, with everything going on with them and USC showing
that our competitive schedule is a decision at the end of the year.
Because of all the success, do you feel like in terms of the AP polls,
Are you sure that woman's not an AI? Because she's pretty well media trained.
She's actually from the Bay Area and a lawyer.
Cool.
Yeah, she dope. But yeah, she gave more insight. I got the whole 18-minute recording of her talking, but
You cut out.
am I good now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, yeah. She touched on, the quality because like that, her answer sparked my question to Brady Hoke and all the other coaches because it's like, okay, it's clearly like
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with you, Kenny. I think it's you because Nikki's moving in real time.
This non-automatic qualifier conference championships, is this just a moving?
Yeah, Kenny, you already talked about this and we can't hear you anyway, so I'm just going to move on to the next clip.
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, but you're not moving.
You're good. It might be you, Pete.
No, it's definitely you because Nikki's moving.
Not hear me, bro.
It's definitely you because you're frozen and Nikki's not.
I'm not frozen at all, bro. What are you talking about?
Your little Zoom bars are red.
All right, now that Nikki said it, you believe me now? Fucking asshole.
Any lag coming from y'all? I don't know what the issue is, but
you're good now. You're good. You're good.
All right. So without further ado, the person we've been waiting to have on our airways for a really long time, Kenny, he did it the long way. He did it the right way. And yeah, so shout out to you. I'm just gonna play the first clip.
When it comes to the dominance that Boise State's had, whether it was in or out of conference, how do you feel like the status of automatic qualifier is the program, if at all?
But it's really our opportunities that will come in the future are because of what we do today and what we focus on today. And we're very excited about the landscape of college football and where it's going and the opportunities, again, that will be in front of us. So only so long as we commit to the hard work and we're consistent with those things. And we've got a great group this year that has shown to want to do that, and not only fun doing it. And that's why it's so far it's been one of the funnest groups that I've ever had the pleasure of being around. It starts with our leadership group. It starts with the impact that our coaches are having and how we're growing. So as we approach fall camp here, it's going to be really exciting to see how we're able to grow here.
You have DJ coming back. When you look at some of the great, linebackers in program history, including yourself, have you ever told him you remind me of such and such, or any of those past guys from last year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a combination of guys that because DJ, when it comes down to it, from a mental and physical, he's pretty elite. Like mentally, he understands the game. He can handle a lot. He can communicate. He's gonna lead. Like what we see on the field is just a fraction of what he does and the impact that he has in the building. His ability to impact people. He's charismatic. He cares. He's very consistent with who he is every day. And the dude loves to play ball. So he's been very productive on the field, and obviously we're looking forward to seeing him do that.
Did you recruit him in 18?
Yeah.
All right, that's not the one I wanted to play. That was the more coach speaky one, the one of the two that you sent. Here's the other one. This one's better.
How special is it for you to be able to go to the IE and still recruit, even dating back to COVID, and be the representation of what you preach to recruits out there?
I mean, I love recruiting in general. That's the one piece. It's an awesome opportunity to get out, meet people, and especially the opportunity to go back to the IE where I grew up. You call it bias or whatever, but the football there is really, really good. The coaches are awesome. They've always been in there when I was in high school. I got guys that I played with or played against that are coaches in the area now, and I love going down there and recruiting. Very fortunate to get some really good players at Boise State, from that area.
So yeah, that was Boise State head coach, my second cousin, the Braun McVeigh, Andy Avalos. See that dude at a family party, be like, "What's up with the Braun McVeigh swag? Like, we gotta talk about that."
He might make you go head up, but I don't know if you're gonna win that. Never play defense. He's like, yeah, we know why. But
nah, he's not like that. That's more of his older brother. His older brother be more like that. He was just like live it up.
Because this is the 25th anniversary of the Mountain West, their 25th season. So this one was really special, this media day. And, like, everybody's, like, kind of on the same page. And, like, Boise State obviously got picked to, finish first. Taylor Green, their electric QB. He had, like, a 95-yard touchdown run last year. I'm going to say against either Utah State or Fresno. Might have been Utah State. But even though they lost a lot on defense, guys like Scott Matlock, J.L. Skinner, Tyreek Jones, they got DJ.
I didn't know that dude who lost his spot was like the number one leader in Boise State stats for a QB.
Hank Backenmeyer?
Oh, no. It was the one before him.
He left and went somewhere else.
It was the other one before him.
Red Ribbon?
Yeah, there you go.
He finished out his career there.
Oh, I thought he left too.
No. That was Hank Backenmeyer that left. He lost to Taylor Green. I forget where Hank Backenmeyer's at now.
Probably Montana State.
Nah, he's
Idaho.
He's still somewhere D1.
Idaho.
I'll Google it. But yeah, it was really, really energetic, free flowing, very warm and cordial. Like the Mountain West, like their energy is just good. That's what's dope. Like everybody's energy was great. Jokes are being cracked. Like for like Brady Hope, Craig Bowl, Jeff Tedford. Like everyone said Jeff Tedford is pretty much their OG. Like every last person. Like that's the OG. He's, I learned so much from him. And a lot of guys with Pac-12 ties. So it's like when we look at the Mountain West and we look at the Pac-12, depending on how the season ends, because they had like 3 teams with 10 wins last year. And I think like the rating system was like Nevada's coach, Ken Wilson, he pointed out, he's like, with the whole concept of Power 5 kind of being done away with, now it's not about, okay, it's not like, yeah, you want to win your conference, but also you want to put together a great non-conference. Because like Nevada's playing USC, a couple other schools that are like really good from other
They've
conferences.
played them before though.
Yeah. Like, and one of the players, one of the DBs at Nevada was like, yeah, we had Kaepernick come up there. He started naming off a bunch of guys who were in the league. And you realize, look, Nevada's actually put a lot of guys in the NFL quietly, So when you look at every school in the Mountain West, all of them have like put dudes in the league at a higher clip than a lot of, let's say, the Blue Bloods. So I feel like this being the 25th season, we got guys who transferred in conference, like the San Jose State QB was at Hawaii. He transferred to San Jose State, had a really good year. And he pretty much said, like, the hardest thing about leaving home, leaving Hawaii is, like, coming to the mainland you know, and he's like, thankfully, I a group of teammates, like, culturally, like, they teach me things. They let me in on stuff. I teach them stuff. One of the linemen, I want to say, from Utah State, no, it was Hawaii. It was a lineman for Hawaii. He was like, you know, if a lot of these guys in Hawaii stayed, how much of a power would that team, like, if the best players in the state of Hawaii all stayed and played for Hawaii, like, that would be a dynasty right there. Because you think about all the great players who have come off that island and gone to other schools, the Bamas, LSUs, USC, Oregon, Notre Dame, like, a lot of great talent has come from Hawaii, that small island, you know. And the Mountain West they have their finger on the pulse of a lot of stuff. So it's really going to be interesting to see how many of those teams kind of make their way through the top 25 throughout the year, because they already had a great bowl season last year. They literally, like, a couple years ago, won the trophy for most bowl wins. I think one thing they got to fix, though, is, like, the conference champion should be playing in a bigger game than the LA Bowl. And that's no shade to the LA Bowl whatsoever. But when you're, like, when you're Fresno State playing, like, the fourth best team in the Pac-12 and you're hosing them, where you're like, well, why didn't you guys play, like, an Oregon, you know, one of the higher ranked teams, you know, late, like, during the season? And then it goes back to what Brady Hoke said, because it's a risk for an L, you know. And yes, that includes Texas A&M.
All right, moving on. More college football. You want to talk about Big 12 Media Day and all that stuff?
Yeah. So per what I sent in the group chat that I know Nikki saw that made her snap, the Big 12 is coming for everybody's head. Their commissioner was the head of Rock Nation, like I said last year. And literally, well, one of the controversies was Mike Gundy said Bedlam is over. And then he kind of, like, put it on Oklahoma. He said Oklahoma chose to end Bedlam when they went to the SEC. And it's like, bro, they've been whooping your ass forever. Like, they've been whooping you forever in Bedlam.
It's not a rivalry, bro. Like, the record is 92-19. It's not a rivalry, bro. We gave them ticket sales. Like, go back to bed, bro. Put your diaper back on. This is embarrassing. Do not.
Kind of like when Texas A&M and Texas stopped playing, and now they're going to start. I think they're going to start playing again, which is kind of funny. Some rivalries are just going to come back. Hell, like even Colorado State, like, they're not really going to be playing as much. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, and this kind of goes to the Big 12, right? And BYU, they severed a lot of rivalries. The Holy War with Utah and Utah State. You know, some of the Mountain West schools were kind of pissed about that. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't continue the rivalry. But the Big 12 is definitely going global. They're definitely going heavy on the Jordan brands. They're doubling down with that. They're building out their networks. And they could easily take some Pac-12 schools. And if the Mountain West is really as united as they say they are, really the biggest competition standing between, like, the Big 12 having a resurgence and taking on, let's say, the SEC and killing the Pac-12. Because really, like, the Mountain West, now if they steal some ACC schools, that'd be interesting. But, you know, the Big 12 is really just not fucking around. And they stated that with with the slide and everything, and the record revenue, and keeping the money in-house for the title, for the conference championship game, even though it's kind of stupid that, like, they played a conference championship game but two teams already played each other. But whatever. But that won't be the case this time because they got BYU, Cincinnati, UCF, and it's not Houston, but I forget the other school. I think it is Houston. I forget the. It's Houston.
Houston.
Yeah. So Big 12 going to be a real problem. I think they're going to be fine without Texas and Oklahoma. I think that money actually will get distributed now more than ever, and I think all the teams are going to kind of rise up. So, like, if I have to rank like conferences who could be doing the best, obviously, like the SEC's first because they got those championships. Big 10, if they finish that $8 million TV deal, they're right there on the heels. But then it goes Big 12, Mountain West, then the Pac-10. Like Pac-10 can easily really be 6. I mean, the American Athletic Alliance is already kind of screwed. Sunbelt don't count. Yeah, we'll see.
All right. So, our turnover. Are you ready, Nikki?
Yep.
All right, we got 2 weeks of content, so let's try to keep it tight, Kenny. Plus, you might be able to get an hour of fuck around and read. Go ahead, Nikki.
All right. Touchdown or turnover. D-Hop signed a 2-year, $26 million deal with the Titans after teasing the league for like 3 months.
This is a interception, fumble, for a touchdown, scoop and score in the same fucking play. Like, bruh. First off, Tennessee is where elite receivers go to die.
Facts.
Second of all, you're telling me you went there to play with Mayo Coffee Man? And third off, King Henry's not even trying to be there, and you're trying to go there. And fourth off, it's an L for the Patriots because Judon and all them were like, no, fake news. Like, nah, bro, just take it now. It's fine. People lose recruiting trips all the time.
Okay, Judon, like, he's always like that though. Like he was just fucking around.
I know, but still, just hold your L.
I am very. It's really heavy.
Kenny, anything you want to add?
So mid, I'm convinced it shoots like 68% from the field.
The Titans really just be trying to like stack their all-time team to hide the fact that they haven't had like a good receiver since like
Derek Mason.
Yeah, because they're tired of having 98 Tyrone Calicos in Madden Ultimate Team.
Bro, I still don't believe that exists.
No, it'll exist. Trust me.
It shouldn't exist. Like then you have a 99 overall Drew Bennett because Drew Bennett was actually the lead receiver, not Tyrone Calico. That's some wild shit. Like now we're just erasing history as it happened.
Yeah, like, but they're really just trying to be like, they're really just trying to have more people in there that were Titans in the Hall of Fame, I guess. So that like 50 years from now, people are gonna look back and be like, "Oh, dang, the Titans had Julio, Randy Moss, and DeAndre Hopkins." It's like, yeah, no, they were all ass. Yeah, no, they were all ass.
It's truly shameful.
Sorry, Tennessee.
Next. I mean, follow-up question to that though, like, what's next for Dalvin Cook? Because I was personally convinced that he was going to follow Hopkins. But, I mean, theoretically speaking, you know, Derrick Henry isn't locked yet, but...
Well, I think the thing with like, Cook and Zeke is, like, they both got bought out. So they both got something on the way out. So they can afford to sit and wait.
I'm referring to Dalvin Cook talking about how he pretty much wants to follow Hopkins.
No. I get that. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What's next for him is like he's probably gonna wait until somebody gets hurt in camp, and then go wherever that is. Because at this point, like, you're already not going to get a bag. You're already looking at being a backup. So you might as well just wait until week 3 or whatever and kind of figure it out. Yeah, Kenny dropped off, so now he really can't blame us for his Wi-Fi.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Probably just disconnected or whatever. There he is.
Man,
just turn your video off, Kenny. You don't need it. He's there.
You back?
Unless he's just trying to walk the strip and do the show. We don't need video, Kenny. Turn your video off.
Yeah, turn your video off to save Wi-Fi, bro.
There you go. All right.
But no, 12 months ago, if you would have asked me if Dalvin Cook and Zeke would be like jobless right now, I would have told you to shut up. It's crazy.
Yeah, we'll see. And I mean, we'll get to the running back group chat later, but yeah.
True. All right.
Next one.
Moving on. The New York Jets and Quinn agree to a 4-year, $96 million extension.
It's a touchdown for Quinn and the Jets, but fucking Muhammad Wilkerson and Sheldon Rankins were somewhere like, fuck! And Leonard Williams. Because Quinn Williams pretty much got the bag that all 3 of them never got, even though he's probably better than all 3 of them. But yeah, Kenny, thoughts? You're on mute, by the way.
I mean, he had 12 and a half sacks career year, and he's honestly younger than both those people mentioned. So between him, Jeffrey Simmons, another D tackle got paid. I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but like shit, cats are getting the bag, and it's good to see. D tackles finally getting paid their worth, and he said I think it's the richest contract in team history, and for a defensive tackle in terms of guaranteed money. It's a win.
Next one.
Wins a win. Steelers signed Highsmith to a 4-year extension worth $68 million. Touchdown or turnover?
Kenny, you go first because I don't watch any
Total-
Steeler football.
It's a total win because I remember watching and scouting Ali Highsmith coming out of Charlotte. He had like a 4.7, really good player, functional ability, pass rusher. Just fits the Steelers perfectly. I wasn't expecting him to have 14 and a half sacks. He had the quietest 14 and a half sack season in the history of football because everybody talks about TJ Watt, but nobody's like, yeah.
Wasn't TJ hurt last year too?
TJ was hurt last year and still had a shit ton of sacks. But like Ali Highsmith had 14 and a half. And he was like a mid-round pick. That's crazy. It's crazy work.
What was the sack leader at last year?
I think it was TJ Watt.
So is it 14 and a half then?
No, it was like 18 or 19, I think.
He had like 20 down there.
I thought it was 17.
Nah, Ali Highsmith having 14 and a half sacks is crazy. But TJ Watt had like damn.
Nick Bosa has the most sacks with 18 and a half.
Oh.
All right, next.
The Jacksonville signs Ingram to a 3-year deal worth a little bit over $41 million.
That was a fast 365 days for Ingram because the Giants pretty much threw him away like trash. And he got the franchise tag. Now he gets a 3-year, $41 million deal. Pretty solid value for a starting tight end. He can flex out to receiver. I mean, they already have a lot of talent there across their 7-on-7 lineup. So, sky's the limit for the Jags. Sky's the limit for Trevor Lawrence, really. I mean, I think this is the year where we really last year, first year he didn't really have a coach. Last year he was hot and then he was cold. Then he was kind of hot again and then he was kind of cold again. So this year is going to be like really the year where it's like, okay, now you're not learning an offense. Now you got to ascend as a leader. Now you got Kirk fully in the system. You got the receiver who was suspended coming back, Ridley. You got a tight end. Itney's healthy. Like, you got everything. So now this is like the year for them and Trevor Lawrence, I feel like.
No excuses.
No excuses. Anything you want to add, Kenny?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for him. I mean, kind of killed me off in fantasy a couple times, but,
Oh, same.
The season he had this year kind of just solidifies his draft status. Like, he finally went to a place that knew how to use him, and he's thriving, which is, it's dope for him.
Next one?
Good for him. The Jets pretty much threw Mims in the garbage can, and the Lions decided to pick him up in a trade.
Yeah,
touchdown or turnover?
I'm gonna say it's a touchdown because they got him for like a 6th-round pick,
something ridiculous like that. Yeah.
And then one of the receivers is suspended for 6 games, right, Kenny?
Yeah, Jamison Williams.
Yep. And what better big receiver to learn from than Marvin Jones? And Jared Goff is a big quarterback, so he needs a big guy with a catch radius. Complements the smaller, shiftier guys they already have, like Amon-Ra. So I think overall it's a win-win for Denzel Mims. Like, I don't think he could have fell out into a better position than the one that he's in, because he's got at least 6 games to really kind of establish himself and stick, and then maybe, towards the end of the year, kind of take over for Jones. Or Jones has injuries too, so who knows?
Top of that, he was great at the Senior Bowl. I saw him up close. He was killing every DB he went up against. So it's not like he wasn't talented, but the same thing with him, same thing with Elijah Moore. Like, Zach Wilson's not a good quarterback.
Well, I think it's that, but it's also like the Jets just were kind of they were just kind of floundering, and they just kind of took guys with talent, but didn't really have plans for them and didn't really have a plan for their overall kind of roster. And now that's kind of like filtered itself out and worked itself out. But I think those guys who kind of got lost in that mix, especially, right after COVID, I think that's kind of what happened there.
I mean, yeah, but I still feel like it's a weird move from the Jets, in my opinion.
I mean, they have plenty of receivers. The Jets have plenty of receivers. Remember, they added Cobb. They're getting somebody back from injury. They have 4 running backs. Oh, yeah, they signed Lazard. They signed Hardman. They signed Cobb. They still have Garrett Wilson. They drafted 3 people.
No, it's for the brand new quarterback like that. I mean, I know it's Aaron Rodgers, but chemistry is chemistry. I get it. If you don't, some people don't have it, but I feel like it was just kind of.
I mean, they have Corey Davis as their 5th receiver right now. That's fucking crazy.
I did forget. I guess.
Mims wasn't going to beat out Corey Davis for that 4th or 5th receiver spot. I mean, Corey Davis is probably going to get traded next. All right.
If that's the case, then I understand it. But anywho, our last one of touchdown and turnover, we have Tom Brady continuing his entrepreneurial activities by, I think he bought some type of stake in or a boat in an electronic speed boat racing league thing.
So so one of our clients is the Drone Racing League, which actually is the most popular professional sports league on TikTok, in case you didn't know. But yeah, these kids are they're into watching the motorsports. I mean, F1's been picking up here in the States. all that kind of racing's always kind of been around. It's always been kind of niche, but now it's starting to bubble over a little bit more into the mainstream. So see what Brady's doing, and shit, he's got money, he's got time. So why not? I mean, it can't be any worse than investing in the Raiders. What about roasting myself?
Click clack.
Anything you want to add, Kenny?
Honestly, don't give a shit what Tom Brady invests in.
Well, you should, because you should probably follow it.
I mean, like, no, like in terms of.
Bro, he's about to own y'all.
Like, he's going to make it successful. That's what I'm saying.
That's hella disrespectful.
So, yeah. So if y'all trying to build.
I care.
If y'all trying to build a Manhattan boat racing team, make sure you hit me and Kenny up for a minority ownership. We'll put in like $200 and a couple hundred Jack in Box tacos. And yeah, we just need a small Touchdowns and Tangents logo on the side.
I even take some free TB12 gear. What the fuck?
Isn't it all vegan and natural?
Well, the reason I wanted to buy like macros, and I think vanilla is my favorite protein powder flavor. And so I was whatever.
Yeah, that's disgusting. What is vanilla?
Vanilla's not even a flavor.
Vanilla's not even a flavor.
Oh, I don't know. Vanilla is also my favorite ice cream. I don't know. Well, it's not my favorite, but I prefer.
You have way too much flavor to be eating vanilla ice cream out in these streets.
I mean, you don't like strawberry?
If I had to pick one,
you gotta at least go strawberry or banana. Come on, like mint chip. Come on.
Banana ice cream? The fuck out of Where can I buy strawberry banana ice cream? Because I will.
No, I'm just saying, like, you gotta have something like better than vanilla.
I'm saying, okay, what I meant was in the context of chocolate versus vanilla, I'm going vanilla. I always have. I always will. I don't like chocolate ice cream. I like chocolate. Chocolate ice cream tastes fake. It tastes like the same way, like.
So does vanilla.
Nobody really likes chocolate ice
cream. The vanillas are all different. The only vanilla I like is the hood ass, like yellow, off-white vanilla.
Yellow. That's French vanilla.
That Froster Freeze vanilla.
French vanilla. That's
sure.
It's good too. But anyway, yeah, I was gonna buy some of that. The macros, it's like 130 calories and 30 grams of protein, which is pretty much the best protein powder on the market. And it was like $80. So that fast.
So you're like, yeah, I'll just buy $70 pajamas instead. Help me sleep better. At least I'll get more than 30 days out of them. Like,
I'll go buy that Tempur-Pedic.
All right, take a tangent.
Speaking of Dak, Dak basically says that his time is running out to win a Super Bowl because his biological clock is ticking at 30 years old.
He didn't say that.
Have you seen Dak? He looks like a black Hercules.
You know what that meant?
Like, he looks like a demigod. Like he's probably one of the most. Like, he'd probably win if the QBs had a strength competition. He'd probably win.
I feel like Jalen Hurts, to be honest.
Okay, I'll give you Jalen, but I feel like they'll be in the top three, top five for sure. Yeah.
Russell Wilson,
he's strong. Russell Wilson strength.
Yeah, he got that. He got that old man at the rec center strength. He not doing nothing. He doing elastic bands with Tom Brady and high knees.
And well, shit, I guess it works because they're both Super Bowl champions. So,
all right, I got it out the field. No Russell. Shout out to Pluto. Next one.
Alvin Kamara pleads no contest to misdemeanor charged in the assault case. I think this is the one where he and his boys jumped some dude.
It's like the second or third thing that he kind of was adjacent to and didn't get charged on.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned this specific one, because I'm pretty sure he has a lot.
Yeah, I don't know, Kenny. You got anything to say?
One more time.
Alvin Kamara, he pleads no contest. You got to take her tangent.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one.
Is Alvin Kamara washed?
No.
Over under 30 dump off catches from Derek Carr this year.
I thought this was a pro running back show.
I'm just asking. Over under on.
Is this a pro running back? Is this a pro running back platform?
I guess.
What do you mean over under 30? What? What are you talking about?
How many passes behind the line of scrimmage do you think he will catch from Derek Carr this season? Over or under 30?
40.
But I forgot he's a Saint now. I was like, huh? Over.
All right. Well, the last 2 years he's had basically 110 catches combined. So we'll see.
Yeah, I do think I wouldn't say he's washed. I think he's past his prime though, that's for sure. He's definitely on his downward spiral slowly.
All right, next one.
So the Jets are going to be featured on Hard Knocks, and Aaron Rodgers was super mad about it. Basically said that they were forced onto the show or something because he doesn't think they're bad enough for it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers would be annoyed about it. I mean, I think the ironic thing was they probably should have did it in Green Bay. Why don't they do it in Green Bay? Have they ever done it in Green Bay?
Well, no, because,
Well, that's a team that could actually use the publicity and the push and, give Jordan Love some clout.
There's going to be attention on Green Bay and Jordan Love.
Not really. Nobody's trying to catch 3 flights to go to Green Bay. But they'll tune in on Sunday to watch, and especially with all the tradition there and stuff, I feel like people would watch that for sure. Oh, are they doing the in-season Hard Knocks again? Who's doing that, I wonder?
The Jets are doing Hard Knocks.
But who's doing the in-season one? Are they doing that again?
Who knows? We'll see how it goes.
Don't they decide that at the once the season starts, or no?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they do it once the season starts.
And who's doing the prime one? The prime one that nobody watches that's actually better.
I literally don't know what you're talking about.
Does it even matter?
You're the one who said it was better. You're the one who low-key watched it every other episode.
Arizona Cardinals one?
No, not that one. The other one on Prime.
The Arizona Cardinals were on Prime.
Oh.
I watched the one with the Colts that was in season.
Yeah. So, before there was a Hard Knocks in season, Prime had its own show of another name that was basically the same thing.
It was good.
Yeah, anyways. All right, next one.
Browns released defensive tackle Winfrey following off-field issues.
Your boy.
Yeah, he was a 4th round pick, right?
Yep. Ran a 4.89. Pretty much pulled a gun on a woman. I don't know if it was girlfriend or not in a casino or some shit like that. They caught him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If I was him, I feel like
he fucked himself up.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I feel like that D line is about to be pretty nice. He could have had some good opportunities.
I really dislike the inconsistency of how do you say, punishment in the league for off-field issues in quotes among athletes. I feel like Tyreek Hill has done 17 different terrible things and nothing happens to him.
Yeah, but the difference is there isn't 17 Tyreek Hills. There's 17 Winfreys.
I used him as an
Nah,
example.
there's 17 Tyreek Hills. We just don't know their names.
Well, they're not in the league.
Like, there's another one. There's another one on the Dolphins, but yeah.
People say fuck them kids every day.
What I'm just used as an example. I'm just talking about in general. Like, I feel like it's really inconsistent as far as punishment goes for just like domestic charges or anything that's away from football itself. I feel like it's super inconsistent. One guy could murder his firstborn son and then play the very next Sunday, and then you got this guy, like, I don't even know, off-field issues, whatever. I guess you said he did something at a casino, allegedly. And
I feel like the solution to this is to take it out of the commissioner's hand and maybe put it in the union's hand, and then maybe kind of have like all the players vote on it, or at least all the player reps kind of vote on it.
Yeah.
Because half the time, anyways, whatever suspension is put down, the players' union, objects against it or whatever. So just skip that part and just let the players decide, like, okay, did you really tarnish the shield? Are you really a flight risk and we don't want you on the roster anymore? We don't want you at the community events anymore? Or is it just, hey, he fucked up and he's going to do better now, like, sort of situation?
I mean, even on a team-wide basis, though, like the Browns, for example, right? The Browns are releasing this defensive tackle for something that allegedly happened that hasn't been proven yet, or whatever.
Well, we'll get to the Commanders later, but the reason why it's not in the team's hand is because the teams won't do anything unless they're forced to do something, or unless.
Ooh, right. But I mean, to a point, though, like sometimes you said unless they're forced to, whatever, but sometimes they find a way to skeeve off of it. I mean, their own quarterback had many, many issues, and the social pressure was off the charts, but they just didn't give a fuck.
But short of Michael Vick, what player has ever really been released before anything happened?
Like,
because remember, Deshaun Watson was on scholarship for like a solid year.
I think, wasn't Tyreek Hill released from the Chiefs before?
No, he was traded.
Well, I thought it happened because what was it? So he
got traded for first round picks.
Who's the one I'm thinking of? There was a guy. Oh no.
Oh, Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Okay,
Kareem
that's
Hunt.
a good one.
It wasn't because he.
That was kind of bullshit though too.
It was allegedly at the time, but they didn't release him because he did it. They released him because he
lied. Yeah.
Stop doing it. So they're mad, not because we could talk back and forth about how much she deserved it, or how violent it actually was. But with all that aside, right?
Plus, the Chiefs were ahead of the time at cycling through running backs.
Right, but to the side of the actual event, he did this thing, but they didn't care that he did the thing. They just cared that he, I guess, made them look bad by lying, but he actually did do it or something. Even that is like, bro.
But even that is like, okay, they were already playing with the house's money with him because they found him out of nowhere. So it's like they weren't expecting much from him anyway, so it was easy to cut him.
I agree, but I'm just using it to the benefit of my point.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I just don't think that there's really a solution to that, because it's like it's always going to come down to what the player can bring on the team versus what he may or may not have actually done.
Like have you seen that?
Even with the gambling, right? Like all those Lions players got cut, and Calvin Ridley sat a year and he got traded, and he's still on the roster.
Just ratio of like the bad thing you did to how good you are.
I mean, yeah, right? We live in fucking America where we have a judicial system for that sort of reason. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they need to just create like a real ass judicial committee of like half players, half fucking agents, half coaches, half league officials, and figure it out. Like,
I mean, I don't think it'll happen
but then they won't have anyone to blame. And then I think that's also why they like to have a Goodell, and that's why they pay him so much money, is to just be the fucking heel.
I think the how do you say this, social activism, whatever side of the planet of America is starting to just very infantily discover the NFL's issues. And so maybe 10 years from now, it'll become like much more
robust punishment.
Yeah, like the effect of like the social whatever activism movement might cause that to become a thing, but probably not within the next decade.
But even with that, it's like, bro, like I mean, the Deshaun Watson chatter is already pretty much swept under the rug, right? And Michael Vick still can't fucking go to an aquarium without getting fucking kicked out, even though he did his time and has done like a shit ton of shit for PETA and the Humane Society.
And that's what I'm saying too. It's like something like
PETA, by the way.
You got Ben Roethlisberger on one end.
Yeah, exactly.
And then and it's like, you know, obviously there's a lot of like racial implications or whatever in Michael Vick's issues, but like it's still mind blowing nonetheless. Like just was channeling his inner Henry Ruggs.
Okay, thanks for taking my take, man. All right.
He gets a citation for going 140 miles per hour.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
55 mile an hour zone.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the fact that he only got a citation and is pretty much like a welcome from Minnesota police. Like, yeah, we're gonna give this to you because you went over twice the speed limit, but like, go Vikings. Like, you know, like, bruh, like what are you gonna say?
Enough black people, so we kind of have to like take this one easy.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like, what are you gonna say? Well, at least I wasn't drunk. Well, at least I wasn't arguing with my girlfriend. Like, bruh, you saw what happened to fucking the Detroit defensive tackle in your same draft class for alleged crazy driving. We saw what happened with Ruggs a couple years ago. Like, dude, you make millions of dollars. You don't even need to fucking drive, bro. Like, you really don't even need to fucking drive. You're in Minnesota, my guy. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know what Jordan Addison was thinking. Like, that's not that. Like, you're a first round pick too, a receiver, replacing Adam Thielen, and you fucking do something that stupid.
And he's been a high profile player for long enough to know better.
Now. Yeah, like, bro, you went to USC and Pitt. You're clearly not stupid.
Soda that don't have speed limits or no? Or am I tripping?
Mm-hmm.
Something to Google. In Wyoming, you can't. My bad. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All right. When I talked to
Addison probably played the sovereign citizen. Like, oh yeah, I'm not a U citizen of the United States.
That shit don't work. I'm a Moor.
I don't subscribe. I don't subscribe to speed limits.
In Wyoming. In Wyoming, I was talking to Wyoming's middle linebacker, who's the Mountain West preseason defensive player of the year, Easton Diggs. He pretty much said that, like, because he's from San Diego, and he said when he got to Wyoming, like, you can't go more than 30 miles an hour. That really, like, messed with him. He was getting speeding tickets because he wasn't used to it, but he's like, he enjoys it now.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, because they don't want you to miss all the scenery.
Wait, 30 miles per hour?
Yeah.
You're kidding. It's a joke?
Well, because there's like wildlife and they don't want you to miss the scenery and shit like that.
I got the audio that I'm going to post up later.
Now, do you remember the other day when I said Texas's highest speed limit is 80?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually 85. I was wrong.
Utah has 80 or 85 too, I think.
It's 85 is the highest in the nation. So maybe like it's tied, but I don't know. Like, you're trying to tell me there's
Utah for sure has 80, and I think they have 85. Utah for sure has 80.
Mexico also has 80 as well. In the desert.
Yeah, like Vegas has 75.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's pretty average for the highway.
Not really. Here it's 65.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. Oh. Everyone just thinks it's 70, but it's actually 65.
I go as fast. It just if it allows me, I'll go 90, but it just depends.
Yeah, man, I don't know. No comment. All right, last one.
Smart move.
New Commanders owners are official.
Yeah, so pretty much the league voted on it. Daniel Snyder's out. The group led by Magic Johnson and company is in. Overall, getting Snyder the fuck out of there is great. I feel like the investigation they released, I didn't really understand the findings, but from what I took from it, is like they pretty much said he didn't really do anything. But yeah, I don't know.
He has to pay $60 million.
That's why I don't understand. Why is he paying money if they're saying that he didn't do anything with as far as the boat and as far as lying about revenue?
No, like he did that part. So it's pretty much they were going to take the team from him one way or another. So he pretty much had to sell, and he got $6 billion and has to pay $60 million, which he won't even fucking miss.
That's 1%.
Evil people winning at the end of the day is crazy.
All right, moving on. Fair or fade? Already talked about this one, so I'm going to skip it. All right. Deion Sanders crying for media attention, part question mark. I'll leave this to you guys because I don't even know what that is about.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? Because I talked to like Colorado State players and coaches, and they didn't feel that way.
Oh, I had put that last week, I think, whenever he like decided to like name drop Brent Venables in Oklahoma for no reason, and everybody just kind of scratched their head and moved on with their day.
Oh yeah.
Here, I have what he said.
Oklahoma was hating outside the club, they couldn't get in.
Yeah, Kenny, you're cutting out again.
Yeah, bro, whatever he's got to say.
Yeah, whatever. It's trash, Kenny. Fuck you. Speaking of fuck you, Saquon said, and I quote, I could just say fuck you to the Giants, end quote, and not show up in regards to his potential holdout and not reaching a deal at the franchise trade deadline. So fair or fake, Kenny?
I mean, don't say you're going to swing on me and not swing, little bitch.
Plus,
I'd rather you just sucker punch me and just be like, I'm not coming in. Like, Daniel Jones has to give me $20 million or I'm not fucking coming in.
Plus, man,
Daniel Jones.
Plus, my thing is this: like, out of all the people to be mad in this running back class, and we'll get to the running back group chat shortly, but like Josh Jacobs has the biggest qualm because one, he's been
in the car
the focal point. Because one, he's been the focal point of the Raiders' offense for at least the past 2 seasons, really since he came to the league. Two, he was a stable of running backs at Alabama, so it's not like he was really him in college like Saquon was. 3, he didn't miss a full season and a half like Saquon did. 4, he hasn't been paid like Dalvin and Zeke at all. And 5, he's got an incredible story. And 6, he's half Filipino. So there you go. Josh Jacobs, he's the only one that could say, fuck you, I'm not showing up. And he still showed up and was sitting in the car until the deadline because he thought it was going to get done. And he was like, well, fuck it, I guess I'm out.
I said this was going to happen, by the way. I said they were never going to pay him.
Oh, Jacobs?
They should have just drafted a running back.
I mean, you have been saying that for like 2 years, but I also agreed with you.
I mean, like, the list of shit I'm right about, like, if I really want to press the
You've
line,
been saying that, but I've also been agreeing with you. I've never disagreed with you on that.
I'm not talking about you, but I'm saying, like, Raiders, that's why I don't really engage a Raiders fan base like that. I talk to the insiders and the reporters. Because it's like, Raiders fans don't fucking realize, like, bro, this organization doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Stop pretending like they know what they're doing. Like, and on Naylor, he was talking about the Niners, and I was mentioning, like, how I left the Raiders for a year because I was in my fan-ho phase because them trading Khalil Mack was, like, the stupidest thing since trading Charles Woodson. He's like, oh, yeah, you got tired of being a Raiders cuck. And I'm like, well, technically, let's be honest, if you're a fan of a losing team, honestly, if you're just a fan, period, that's kind of cuck energy.
Are you
what team
fucking
you pick,
kidding me?
like,
Did you really just say that?
He snuck it in.
Did you just say we're all cucks? Is that what you just said?
Cucks. We're kind of all cucks. I mean,
if you watch football, you're a cuck. Period. Tweet that, Kenny.
Almost anything.
Tweet that, Kenny. If you watch football at all, you are a cuck. Period. Myself included.
If you love vanilla ice cream, you're a cuck. Like everybody's a cuck for everything. Like that. Like
you don't get enough back though, right? Like if it's symbiotic relationship, you're less of a cuck. Like more of a simp at that point.
No, cucks can get in it too.
If you have to condone the cuckage, does that make it any better? If you have to explain why you're not,
I mean, if you say,
self-explanatory, doesn't that make it worse?
For the Patriots, it's like, okay, great. Like they also won me 6 Super Bowls in my life.
I was definitely a cuck sitting in my living room watching the Raiders get shut out by the fucking Saints. Like that was definitely.
Yeah, that's objectively true. But.
Yeah, some fucking obscene shit that I just kept watching for no reason.
If you're a Mac Jones apologist, are you kind of a cuck? If you're a Bill Belichick apologist, are you kind of a cuck? If you disagree with Asante Samuels, aren't you kind of a cuck?
Saying that's a wild sentence. Bill Belichick apologist. That's something I thought I would never hear in my life.
That seat is getting hot.
I mean, like if we're really breaking down to it, like everybody will like
that tape was so cold that it burnt me like dry ice, bro.
Somebody that used to be on this podcast is gonna come and spam the fuck out of our chat the day Bill Belichick gets fired.
Not even gonna say
we just gotta be we just gotta be prepared for that. It's gonna happen.
Think about who you're agreeing with, bro. Think about who you're agreeing with. Sorry, you want.
I'm just saying, like that's gonna happen.
My karma's good right now, so I'm gonna just leave that alone. But like, if we really thinking about it, like when you defend shit that's horrible, like now that we're just using words that only apply to like certain aspects of society and just using them as for everything. Like if words can mean anything, then they mean nothing. But if they mean anything, then they literally could be applied to any situation. So in any given situation, you can be a cuck for anything, which is kind of fucked up when you think about it.
All right, moving on.
That was dark.
It's very retrospective.
Nikki's guy, Rory McIlroy, says he'd rather retire than play live golf. Fair or fade? Bro. Let's start with you, Nikki.
Shit, give me that billion. I'll play whatever the fuck they want.
I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a total fade, but like, so based, bro. He said he was in an interview and he said, I hate LIV golf. I mean, I hate it, is what he said. And then they were like, okay, well, what if they merge? And he was like, okay, well, I won't play. And they're like, okay, well, what if you have no other choice? And he says, if there were no other golf league and my only choice was LIV, I would retire. And then the interview just stared at him for like 3 seconds. It was the most based thing I've ever seen like transpire in all 24 years of my life.
And now we're here.
Yeah. So incredibly, I mean, it was kind of out of pocket for him to say because, you know, he does have a lot of coworkers, friends, and whatever, you know, that are advocating for
that are scabs.
Especially since he is playing a little bit of a dangerous game in a way because he is actively kind of calling out his own commissioner in a way. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, his commissioner has been under a lot of fire in general lately, ever since, like, the merger's been announced. Rory also found out that the commissioner of the PGA was in talks with this woman. I can't remember her name, but she's she has big money in the LIV golf. But they like, conspired to make Rory an owner of one of the teams in LIV golf. Without Rory's consent, obviously. And so ever since then, he's been kind of on the outs with the commissioner because it's like, I mean, can you imagine just like the Roger Goodell basically like forcing like Bill Belichick into the XFL or something. But so yeah, he's playing a little bit of a dangerous game, but I'm a ride until till the wheels fall off. So
imagine going so hard. Imagine going so hard for an organization or a group only to realize they're fucking you behind your back.
Yeah, but at least they're giving you $1 billion.
I mean, he's kind of getting cucked. He's kind of a high price cut. And they made him that. That's the fucked up part.
The same thing happened to Tiger Woods. They conspired behind his back as well. And so, but Tiger has been a lot less vocal about his issues, I guess.
Well, I mean, they sent him on a dummy mission. Phil Mickelson too. Let's talk about it. We don't talk about Phil Mickelson, but like they send these dudes on dummy missions, and some guys like are loyalists, but they're really getting paid behind it. It's just.
All right, guys, it's too late. I'm falling asleep with all this golf talk.
I mean,
I would for real took the $1 billion and said, "Fuck y'all." $1 billion is fuck you money. Didn't they offer him what, like damn near close to $1 billion? They offered him a shit ton of money. Tiger, I forget the number.
They offered. I know they offered Tiger more, but they offered Rory and Tiger like a ridiculous sum of money, and they both.
And I would have taken it. I would have taken it and said, "Fuck off."
Well, didn't Messi turn down like $1 billion or $500 million from them too?
Yeah, Messi legit turned down $1 billion.
You have to realize how rich golfers are. Like golfers are on par with like soccer players. Like they are rich. Let me
tell you, if you have a chance to get access to Middle Eastern money, you take that shit. Now, if you want to save puppies with it, you want to buy.
He's like a $100 millionaire. Like, what does he need at that point? Like,
man, I'll take that shit. I would take it.
All right. Jordan Poole's dad called out Draymond Green this past week. I forgot what he said, but he pretty much said, like, he never apologized to me. Like, he's just a big bully. He can come see me. Like, he knows where to find me. So, fair or fade, Jordan Poole, grown-ass man, having his dad call out grown-ass man Draymond Green.
Draymond Green being a bitch, and he knows it. Like, bro,
I didn't think you were going to go that way.
You already punched him in the face, like, and he light-skinned, so you picking on him. Stop that.
No, my whole thing is like Draymond like try to like sweep it under the rug, right? Like they all did. They all played very PR at the time when it happened. Like Draymond did his time, and then they were all like, "Yeah, we're just trying to kind of move forward." But now they're all like subtly dissing it and talking about it, and it's like, yeah, this is that light skin energy that Kenny always talks about. Like now you guys want to look back in retrospect and talk shit. But, like, at the time, you guys were all trying to show face. But now, Steph says the team's more mature. Draymond's like, yeah, it was building up to that and blah, blah, blah. Like, y'all are grown-ass men at the peak of your profession. You got bags on top of bags with side bags. And your career after your career is already set. Like, and you guys are picking on some overzealous player from wherever the fuck Jordan Poole is from. Like,
I think he went to Michigan or some shit.
He did go to Michigan, but I don't know if he's from there. But yeah.
Bottom line is like, if somebody punch you in the face next season, I don't want to hear shit. Somebody needs like Draymond does that shit. You bully who you can get away with.
Yeah.
He
didn't do that to KG.
Do you think that would
or
happen?
Zebo. Yeah.
Doing, and that's why I don't like. That's whole behavior, and that's why they lost.
He wouldn't do that to Steven Adams.
You've been winning that long, and no one can tell you no. And let's be honest, who are they going to get to replace Draymond next season?
Well, he's back.
Who's going to do that dirty work?
He's back.
Sacrifice.
He's locked in.
Exactly. Like no, he knows he's a made man. So the worst thing Jordan Poole did was not punch back. He should have stomped a hole in Draymond's ass. Said, fuck all y'all. And Steph, that's why your wife thinks you're a cuck and she don't respect you.
Oh my God, here we go.
Oh, you didn't know? Bro. Steph Curry wife disrespectful. Aisha disrespectful as fuck. Out here saying I just disagree. And you married.
I didn't mean bras, and I didn't know I meant bras, and like I don't agree.
I know, but like she been making statements that's hella embarrassing. Like as a married woman, you don't come out and say that about your husband.
What's worse, Aisha Curry, Kiki Palmer, and Toxic City Girls group chat, or underpaid running back group chat?
Underpaid running backs have a reason because they put in the work and they get no loyalty. Aisha out here jealous of her own husband on some light-skinned female shit, and the only thing worse than light-skinned dude shit is light-skinned female shit.
Bro,
like
something 12 months that I'm unaware of or something.
Yeah, she was disrespecting him for a long ass time now in public. She went on like The View and shit, was like, you know, I'm jealous of the attention he gets, even though he doesn't cheat and he's a great guy and he's a great husband. Like, I want attention from other men. She said that shit while Jimmy Butler's out here lurking around. Do you understand how dangerous that is? Jimmy Butler out here busting down Shakira. Do you understand? All it takes was somebody to fuck Steph Curry's wife and come out and say, yeah, I smashed. And his image goes into the shitter. On top of that,
that's not what she was saying or what she meant. I mean, like,
nah, she came out and said it, like plain as day. She's jealous, and she.
No, I think she said that they had an open marriage or whatever, and then they're like, nah, she never said that. It was a joke.
They did not have an open marriage.
He would get clowned on endlessly if that was the case.
She never said they had an open marriage. She said, I miss the attention and I want more attention from males. You are married with 4 kids, ma'am.
She didn't say
and then
like
she went
that.
on The View licking her lips at this dude who had his shirt off, and it's like, Steph Curry ain't never publicly embarrassed you like that. The divorce gonna be nasty. And I wouldn't give a shit. I'd fight her to the poorhouse.
I feel like there's some type of like double standard happening with your opinion on her. I never thought what she said was bad. Like,
oh, she was on Red Table Talk. That in itself is already a red flag.
You see what I'm saying? And she went on The View. Come on now. Trust me. I don't speak on these kind of things unless the video evidence is already out. She had that man looking stupid, and he plays respectful and he plays it cool. But that's wrong. Like, think about it. Imagine if your soon-to-be husband said that, I want attention for other women, and you just standing there like, what the fuck, bro?
Say that. Like, she didn't say that verbatim. Like, she was saying
you can insinuate some shit, and then her actions, like, she was on The View fucking.
Oh, look.
No, yeah, I see the quote that Kenny's talking about. It's from 2019.
Be 100% real with me right now. You're trying to tell me that you're in a relationship and you don't feel good if some girl hits on you at the bar, or you don't look at other women sometime, or you don't like you feel a little bit in yourself or whatever if some girl says she likes your cologne or something. Every human being feels these feelings. They want to feel desirable.
Yeah, but vocalizing it is another step.
On the national television, unprovoked.
And you're halfway step to doing something about it because you're yearning for it or seeking it or whatever.
She's doing anything about it. She's just being vulnerable. Y'all acting like she's Jada Pinkett Smith or whatever.
I mean, that's who she was talking to about it. Like, that's what we're saying. Like,
I don't know. I'm just saying. Like,
that's real.
I feel like, especially as men, like, I feel like men are more inclined to that than women even.
You know? But we don't yearn for it, seek it out. Like, it just kind of happens. Like, it is what it is.
In my opinion, I just think she was being vulnerable and people took it out of context because she's a woman, and there's a double standard there. I don't think she ever thinks about cheating on Steph. I don't think she wants to cheat on Steph. I don't think she.
Well, if you want to go that route, the conversation itself is already stacked. Like, you're not going to have an athlete be like, yeah, I wish I had more bitches throwing themselves at me. Like, nobody's going to say that, first off. Second off, that's not a problem for them. They literally just show their banking app and get whatever they want. So, like, yeah, you're right. It is stacked. But, like, at the same time, like, it's not apples to oranges here. Like, you're talking about one person with clout and one person with some kind of clout. Like, just like what we talked about 2 weeks ago. Like, it's like the person with the bigger platform, like, they just win. Sucks to be in a relationship like that. But it is what it is. Like, that's what you sign up for. All right.
She's a victim or anything. She probably shouldn't have said what she said, but I think she was innocent in what she was saying. She made a mistake, but I don't think she's a bad person for it.
All right, Kenny dropped off again. So last one. Reportedly, there's a running back group chat with players like Tony Pollard and Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley, all the dudes who got their franchise tag. Tony Pollard's the only one who signed it. We also had CMC, Derrick Henry, calling out the state of the running back, how it's really messed up that nobody's getting paid anymore. So, yeah, fair or fade. Like, first off, like, teams, like, players at the same position of another team having a group chat together, like, is that fair or fade? First off. And second off, like, are all these running backs, like, trying to advocate for each other? Is that fair or fade? Kenny? You're on mute. If you're there. Guess he's not there. All right.
While he's figuring himself out, can you give me a little bit of context on that? I actually didn't. I haven't heard about this group chat thing. How was this leaked? How was this made attention?
I believe they talked about it. Like, they talked about how they all just kind of added each other in a group chat, and they've been kind of talking about different negotiations and things like that. Like,
I know that they were each other on social media and stuff. I just didn't know that they had like a group chat, I guess.
Yeah, I just think it's funny because I imagine them probably just talking shit about offensive linemen and quarterbacks who do weak fakes. And I don't know, it also kind of feels like tampering, but like, players are different these days. They're all like friends. They've all been playing with each other and against each other and went on visits together and played in all-star games together and played 7-on-7 together. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it's weird. Like, I mean, they should be advocating for each other. And also, I don't think it's weird that they're in a group chat because, like,
I think it'll be funny with whoever snitches on whoever first. Like, whoever posts a screenshot from that chat first. Like,
Tony Pollard, if anybody.
Yeah, probably. He's the biggest guest. He's the outlier, the one that doesn't fit.
Well, no, just because he's the only one that signed a contract.
Yeah, true.
And now he's probably salty because they're all like, activism or whatever, and he's being left on the whatever. I mean, I'm honestly glad Tony signed though. Like, I think it was a good decision. Out of anyone in that group, I think Tony has the least amount to.
Well, he also has an injury, so I feel like he had less leverage. He had less leverage.
True. I don't know, but even without the injury, I feel like he's the last person in that group that would be causing a fuss anyway. So I'm not necessarily mad that he signed early, I guess. But yeah.
Plus, I think there's more cachet to being the running back of the Dallas Cowboys than of the Giants or even the Raiders. Like, yeah, those are two, iconic teams as well. But like, I feel like, yeah, the brand. Like, I feel like if he's going to be the leading running back for this season, and he was already kind of last year, and then if he does it another year or two, like, he's already pretty much made. Like, he'll be good at whatever car dealership he ends up owning, whatever real estate ventures he does. Like, just being able to say, yeah, I was a starting running back for the Cowboys for 4 or 5 years, like, is enough. Even if he's, just whatever 800 or 1,000-yard range.
I mean, that's at the very least. I mean, he only his ceiling is very high. So, but that whole pay cut kind of mentality though for the brand, it goes pretty far deep into the team. I found out recently, even down to like the cheerleaders, like the Cowboys cheerleaders are like one of the worst paid groups in the entire league, but everyone wants to work there because it's the Cowboys.
Yeah, definitely.
Crazy.
Want to start us off with the rants? Kenny, are you there? Hello? You're on mute, sir. All right, go ahead, Nikki. I don't know what the fuck Kenny's doing.
Okay. I mean, I had a good week. I'm moving right now, so that's not fun. Oh.
We have a Kenny sighting. Nikki's talking, Kenny, and you missed your chance. Just wait. You'll go next.
Sounds like he's underwater.
He's probably using his trash-ass phone again. I don't know. This man is, like, harder on phones than Alabama is on running backs and linebackers.
Anyway, yeah, so I'm moving this week. I actually go to my new apartment tomorrow and pick up my keys. So that's cool. I usually DoorDash on Fridays for some extra coin, but I think I'm gonna have to miss it, which is lame because I wanted to make more money. See Barbie tomorrow night, but
cool. I kind of want to see it too.
I wasn't really interested in it at first because I don't know, like it just seemed kind of like children's movie vibes, like the same as Mario, except I have no connection to it because I never really watched Barbie, so I didn't care. But I found out it's like a Truman Show-esque type of plot. I think she finds out she's like the whole premise of the movie is that she finds out she's fake or something, and she's trying to like break out of it. So it seems a lot more intriguing than I thought. So I think I'm going to go see it. I do want to see Oppenheimer as well. I don't think I'm going to do that weird trendy thing where you go from one to the other or whatever, because I don't know. I don't know if I can.
That's a trendy thing.
Oh, like everyone's doing it this weekend. Like
really?
Right I know like 4 or 5
weird segment of TikTok, like.
Mm-hmm. Like literally off the top of my head, like 4 or 5 of my friends that I know of that have actively talked to me about it are going.
That's wild. There's still like at least like 3 movies I need to see: Flash, Guardians.
Yeah, I haven't seen Guardians yet either.
Dungeons and Dragons. I think there's one more.
Dungeons and Dragons. That's random.
Yeah, it got really good. It got really good reviews, and the cast is pretty fire. So I wanted to check it out.
You play you're in D&D?
No, I'm not. Definitely not. But they said you don't have to be into the movie. Because I mean, I like fantasy movies.
That's what they always say. I mean, they said that same shit about the Harry Potter video game that came out recently. They're like, hey, you don't have to watch the movies. And then I started playing the game, and it was boring as hell. Everybody was like, oh my god, like you can play it, you don't have to worry.
Yeah, that's what they said. But then, like a month later, it was hot again. So I don't know. We got good reviews as well.
I mean, I don't know. It was kind of boring. Like I played it, and it was just like it was just really behind. Like it didn't feel like a 2023 game. It felt like a 2016 game. So back.
All right, go ahead. Finish whatever else you're gonna say.
Yeah, some stupid shit just
happened. No, not you. Her. You missed your time.
No, you're good. My shit's pretty boring, so I don't really got anything else to say. So I'll hand the torch over to Kenneth.
Now you can talk, Kenny.
You're not gonna believe what the fuck just happened.
You just
all right. So
oh my god!
So
here we go.
The hotel I'm at. Shut up, Pete. The hotel I'm at. I went to go get my food. I was trying to be slick about that shit and come back upstairs. But I forgot my wallet. And like at the Circa, you always have to have your ID on you to go outside. So they got to make sure you stay here. The dude was like, hey, just stay put. I'll get my boss. So, you stay here. He's like, you got your room key? I was like, yeah, I got my room key. I told him my room. So security walked me back upstairs. I'm in the elevator and shit. I'm like, this is dumb. because the dude saw me walk outside. And the way I'm dressed, like I got on fucking basketball shorts, a t-shirt, and some Crocs. Like, bro, obviously I'm staying here. And I had on my badge for like the Mountain West shit. So I'm just like, all right, whatever. And it's worse because it was like 3 black dudes. So I'm like, if I have the room key, clearly I can get in the building. But whatever.
That doesn't sound that bad. You made it sound worse, but go ahead.
Nah, it was just like it was annoying, but it's also like, fuck, I should have just kept my ID on me because I just ran down there to get the food and then come back. I was like, damn, I should have just kept my wallet in my pocket. But whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. That whole running back group chat thing, all I gotta say is unless y'all gonna band together and try to unionize, it's kinda too late. It's kinda too late. It's over. Like,
they're talking shit about their quarterbacks fakes.
Of course they should. Like, bro, you know how good I'll be making my trash ass center look? Like, running backs have to do all the blocking. Like, oh, you're only throwing me this fucking out route.
Running backs are rightfully the pettiest people on the team. Yeah, like, they earn that right because they do the most.
How many? Who else is getting hit 345 times in a season? At least.
That's just the ones they document.
Exactly. And then all the hits you have to take in high school and college.
Bro, this angle is not flattering of you right now. You need to turn your camera.
Oh, shit. I dropped the phone. Sorry.
Bro, it's all right.
Hey, I looked, I was like, oh no, this is all bad.
Bro, look like that dude with the weird face always trying to fight everyone.
Hey, fuck you.
You know what I'm talking about? With the big nose?
Yes.
You would know who I'm talking about if you saw it.
An actor?
Nah, he's like a social media
I was going to say Sean Connery.
Guy.
Sean Connery?
All right, Katie, finish your rant so you can eat your pizza and I can go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to sleep. But yeah, man, it's been a great couple of days so far here in Vegas. Pac-12 media day is going to be fucking outrageous tomorrow, So it is what it is. I'm just enjoying the week, enjoying the fruits of my labor and all that shit. I'm going to spend pretty much all weekend just posting shit and writing stuff. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited. My nephew was apparently pissed at me because my mom was like, you left in the middle of the night and he woke up when you weren't here. So sorry, Isaiah.
Don't you do that usually? You gotta leave at weird times anyways.
Exactly. But sometimes he'll see me and he'll just be like, what the fuck, bro?
Minority parents always just gotta give you shame for no reason, huh?
For no reason. I'm like, he's not even my kid. He's not my child. You don't know that.
Here we go. I want to record that next time. You're like, yeah, he's basically my kid.
Yeah, man. It's been good. I got a bunch of free shit. I got a bunch of stuff I'm going to give you guys. Cups, fanny packs. They actually, for some of the swag bag, they gave me like a 2X pullover dry fit. That shit clean.
Damn, they considered you?
Best friend for life.
Huh?
They're making
snag me a dry fit, but probably not a 2XL, and then I'll be your best friend for life. Easy.
They only gave me one. I was trying to get extra, but yeah, I only got the one.
Anyone in the garbage can grab it for me?
They're making swag accessible now to fat people? It's crazy.
I know, right?
I think it's because the Jokic couldn't fit in his championship shirt.
It's a 2X, and it's actually pretty big. I was kind of shocked. I was like, damn.
Well, you're also getting thinner, so that helps.
I am, yeah. Fuck you for that previous comment, by the way.
What do you mean?
Oh, I thought that was directed at me. Never mind.
No, you are getting thinner.
You said he couldn't fit a championship shirt, and I was like,
oh. No, Jokic couldn't.
Oh, okay. Well, totally struck when I said for the record then.
Jokic is just big and husky, He's just big.
I mean, yeah, he's big, but he's like literally a giant human being. Like,
he looks like the Green Giant.
Like, I wear XL, bro. Like, come on. He's not wearing an XL. He needs at least a 2X plus 2 or plus 4.
Yeah, he's like, huge.
Exactly.
By the way, next time you're in Vegas, go to After Hour Pizza. That shit is fire.
There's already a lot of fire pizza pots in Vegas,
which I thoroughly enjoy. And, I will say this. It's going to be real funny, whatever happens at Pac-12 Media Day tomorrow, because I'm probably going to ask a question that might piss somebody off.
Oh. Sneak peek?
Big Phil Jones energy.
I'm out here going to war with Raiders fans on Twitter because they're like, you were wrong. You were wrong. You said he was going to sign and he wasn't. I'm like.
I mean, it came down to the last minute.
I was like, y'all don't listen to Phil when he talks. Because, like, he tries to give you the best case scenario, but realistically.
Nah, he did say that, bro. He did say that.
Yeah.
He's been saying that on our show for like a year and a half. And then he did tweet it, and he did tweet it that it was going to get done, $15 million or whatever.
He only gets off because, like, the optics of what he said were why the deal wouldn't get done, or is why the deal didn't get done.
Nah, the tweet that I'm talking about, like, he literally said the deal was going to get done for $15 million.
I saw that one too.
Well, yeah, I mean, my point is it literally came down to last minute, so it's not like he was that wrong.
I knew he wasn't. It wasn't going to happen because they didn't want to pay him. That's why they got a 4th-round pick with a worse knee injury history than him.
All right. Are you done yet so I can talk?
Oh, yeah. I'm totally done.
All right. Well, for me, it's been a wild kind of crazy weeks, but, like, not for work reasons. I don't know. I feel like I've just been doing a lot of stuff lately, which is both good and bad. It's, like, good to see people and connect with people, but it also just kind of takes me out of my rhythm and groove. Nonetheless, been pretty much lost a couple pounds just drinking Bud Light and eating bad, which is fucking weird, but yeah, whatever. It is what it is. And then, what else was I going to say? I forgot. Oh, yeah, I was in Vegas last week for the Summer League, which is crazy. They had this whole side NBA con where all the players and the brands were dropping sneakers and doing autograph signings and stuff. I feel like that kind of took away from the Summer League experience because, like, you didn't see as many players just hanging out, walking around, etc. So it's like it's good that the Summer League has gotten so big, but it also feels like it's gotten way too commercialized. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I love watching basketball, so I don't mind going there to watch 4 or 5 basketball games, anyways. But it's just not the same as the days where you could bounce between the two gyms, where you could sit next to NBA players and agents and see deals go down and stuff like that. Like, it's much more just like another kind of basketball tournament. And now that a lot of the young players aren't even playing, like Victor only played like 2 games, Scotty played 1 game. Like, it doesn't have the same, I don't know, it doesn't have the same feel, but it's still always great to get out there because it's basically like the center of the basketball universe for like a week. And yeah, that's about it for me. Touchdowns and tangents, TDs_tangents, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Touchdownsandtangents.com. Shout out to Kenny. Proud of you for holding it down, getting some great content. And shout out to Nikki for doing great work with the rundown as always. And yeah. Peace. Good night. Well, I'm going to hang up the Zoom call now because Nikki did a peace sign, so. And Kenny's waving his pizza goodbye, so I guess this is goodbye.
He said